friends, it's Miss Dom. Today we're going to be looking at some art and then we're going to draw a parrot. So the image that you see with the multiple birds, not the little photo in the corner above my head, is by John James Audubon. And this is an image called Carolina Parakeet, and it was part of a book that Audubon made in the 1800s called Birds of America. It's a very famous book, and it's actually the most expensive book in the world. They're very rare. A copy of the set of books, it's not actually one book, but it's there's I think 4 volumes in the set, but a copy of it went for $9.65 million. And what he tried to do was make the birds in their natural environment. He tried to make them life-size, so some of the prints are very large in the book. And he was trying to do an accurate scientific illustration kind of an image, as well as an artistic, beautifully arranged image of the birds in their natural habitat, and document every bird in the United States. That was his goal. Now, this particular bird, he called it the Carolina parrots. They're actually parakeets. And you may not have seen these birds before. That's because they're extinct. So he did this art in 1827. And in his notes, he even documented how by the 1830s, he was seeing less and less of them. He was noticing that they were starting to go extinct. They're very beautiful birds. They're the only bird in the parrot family that was native to the United States, and one of only 2 birds in the parrot family native to North America, and the other one is only found in Mexico, and it's also very rare. So these birds, though, were known for being very noisy, and they would eat the farmers' crops. So farmers didn't like them, but we don't see them today anymore. So back in 1827, when they were still out in the wild, John James Audubon studied them. He wanted to show, if you notice, what their feathers looked like when they're spread apart, what the birds looked like in different positions. You'll notice some of the birds are older and younger. One of them doesn't have the bright colors like the others. So he really wanted people to see these birds, and we're very lucky to have this image because, as I said, these birds are now extinct. The last one died in the Cincinnati Zoo in 1918. So we don't have the Carolina parrot living here in the United States because it's not here with us anymore. Now, you also see there's another member of the parrot family up above my head. That's a macaw. And I put that there just to give you some idea of how birds in this family look similar, but also differently. So while we don't no longer have the Carolina parakeet, there's lots of different varieties of parrots, parakeets, and macaws and lovebirds and all different bright, colorful birds that you can find. Most of them are native to the rainforest or to tropical areas, islands, and so forth. So what I'm going to do is just walk you through some of the basics of building a drawing of a bird in the parrot family, and I'm not going to tell you which bird in the parrot family to draw, and your drawing does not have to look exactly like mine, but I know a lot of you find that it helps if I kind of walk you through the basic steps just to get the right shapes, and then you can sort of take it from there. So what I'm going to do is click on this and just shrink it down a little bit so I have some room to draw. I want you to be able to see it. It's kind of hard to see when it's that small. And then I'm going to be doing some drawing on the Jamboard, and you can go ahead and get out a piece of paper and a pencil, and you can do some drawing along with me, and then you can color it in. Like I said, yours does not have to look like either the parakeet or the macaw. I like the macaw because it has those rainbow colors, primary colors, but you can decide, what sort of variety of bird you want to do. So a bird's body is basically an oval shape, okay, and then they have a head, all right, and then you want to sort of connect the head shape with the body shape, and then of course you'll need to do a little bit of erasing. Might have been a little too much erasing. Okay, and birds in the parrot family have a beak that is not pointy. So when you think about birds that you see in your backyard, most of them don't do this. I'm just showing you. Have a beak that's basically a triangle shape like that. And if we were doing a robin or cardinal or some other bird that you see in your yard, that's what we would do. But the birds in the parrot family, their beak is curved. So let's go ahead and try making a curved beak. All right, so we're going to come up here. Now those birds tend to have a fairly thick beak. Okay, so it comes across and then curves down, and then you have the bottom that goes like that. Now if this were a toucan, you'd want to stretch it out really long and bring it way out, but mine's not a toucan, so I'm not going to do that. Oops. I'm going to erase out. It's a little too pointy. All right, so there's my beak. Again, let me just go back to the pointer. This part needs to be fairly thick. So one mistake a lot of people make when they're trying to draw a bird in the parrot family is they'll go like this. They'll make that curve, but they'll make it really skinny like that. And that just doesn't look right because where it connects to the head is so skinny. If that were a real bird, that beak would break off. You don't want that. So think about that. Now, let's get to the rest of the bird. You have a wing here. Now you'll notice in John James Audubon's illustration there for his Birds of America, in his art, he's got the wings, some of them are out, some of them are folded. So, you can bring the wing out more if you like, but I'm just going to do folded wing. And then of course they also have tail feathers that come down like so. Okay, so the wing comes out of that oval shape and the tail feather comes down from that oval shape, and then of course you have the leg. So I'm just going to add a couple of triangle shapes there. Now one trick that I always do when I'm working with students and I'm showing you how to draw the feet is I don't draw the feet until the end, and I'll show you why in just a minute. So let's get back to the face. I am going to bring this beak into that oval just a little bit, like so. So it's definitely connected, and then right here I'm going to add an eye. So you can make your eye realistic or cartoony. If you want it to be more cartoony, that kind of is up to you. If it was a cockatiel, sometimes they have a little feather here. If it's cockatoo or cockatiel, they have feathers that come up like that. So depending on which variety of bird you're wanting to do, you may have some of those things going on. I can add a few more feathers here to the wing and to the tail. I can add a few more feathers here, and so on. Okay, and then there's like a little nostril right there where the beak is. So for the legs, I like to draw the branch that my bird is on before I draw the feet, and here's why. I come down with this leg and then I make the foot. I want the foot to wrap around that branch. So I'm going to come down here. One toe is sort of on the other side of the branch, and then the rest of the toes will wrap around the branch like that. Okay, so if I erase here, erase a little bit of that branch there, I may have to redraw some of that. Let me go back and fix that, which you'll probably have to do as well. All right, so now I have some feet that wrap around the branch. Okay, I'm just cleaning this up a little. Scratchy looking there. Okay, and so that is your basic parrot body. And as I said, you can think about the colors. You can make it realistic colors, find a picture of a bird that you like, or choose the birds that you might see here. I just need to get it up here. Alright, so if you take a look at these, let me just enlarge this even more so you can see the colors. So when you look at those Carolina parakeets, if you want to draw those extinct birds, they had a yellow head, they have a green body with a little bit of blue in there, and then a little bit of orange over by the eye and the beak area, and then the beak is sort of a white color. Or we come over to this one here. All right, looking at our macaw, you notice around the eye there's sort of no feathers. It has sort of a white bumpy skin. The beak is sort of a tan and black, and then the body is this beautiful rainbow colors, mostly primaries, with the red and the yellow and the blue. Okay, so I am not going to color mine in. My goal was just to give you a little bit of history. So looking at, once again, the John James Audubon, if you want to see the birds of America, they can be found at the North Carolina Museum of Art. The North Carolina Museum of Art actually acquired a copy of the birds of America long ago, and back before you had to spend $9.65 million for the books. They bought the books for only $650. So that's a pretty good investment. And so they are, that book is a part of the collection of the North Carolina Museum of Art, and they do have some of the pages on display for you to see if you wanted to see them up close and impersonal. So you can visit the North Carolina Museum of Art and see The Birds of America by John James Audubon. So I'm going to go ahead and shrink that down a little bit. Okay, and again, if you want to change the pose of your bird, you can. I just wanted to walk you through the parts of the bird's body, point out the shapes that you see, and then you can make adjustments. You can make the tail longer, you can make the beak longer, and so on. Also think about the sort of environment that your bird is in. So once you finish drawing the bird, think about where that bird is. So for today, I'd like you to just get started with drawing the bird. And then next week, what I'd like you to do is color that bird in and give it some sort of a background. Where would you find this bird? So if you did the Carolina, I'm sorry, they didn't call it North Carolina, they called it Carolina. And it was probably found in North and South Carolina back before it was extinct. But anyway, if you wanted to try and do the Carolina parakeet, you could make one maybe in your yard. Or maybe you want to do a tropical parrot that you would find in a rainforest or on an island. Think about what sorts of plants and trees that might be surrounding. You could even, just do one more thing, you could even open up the beak and add something in the mouth. So enjoy working on your parrot and get started. Finish it up next time, and I'll see you then.